Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, August 20th, 2015. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Chairman of the New Democratic Party, the NDP, Dr. Linton Lewis, is claiming that the Office of the Supervisor of Elections is going about cleaning the voters list with too much haste. In an interview with SVG-TV News today, Dr. Lewis says while his party appreciates the work being carried out to have the voters list reflect a more realistic voter population in SVG, the party is also fearful that a voters list prepared out of haste would result in numerous problems and inaccuracies. Dr. Lewis further states that already his party has been receiving complaints that persons have been registered in constituencies where they do not reside.
Is that there ought to have been some extension of times, specifically for this project. In addition to that, I think that there are too many complaints with respect to transfers of persons who claim to be living in constituencies or registered in constituencies where they didn't live for 6 months, and in some cases where they have never lived. I have known people, I've known from East St. George who registered, let's say, East King Sound, and never lived in East King Sound. We've heard a complaint made by the Honourable Patrick Matthews with respect to Carlos James, who was registered now in North Leeward, but apparently living in Western George. You've heard the leader of the opposition, Honourable Andrews, has also complained about seeing names that have been transferred to East Kingston but who are not living there. So that exercise that is necessary to ensure that the list is accurate going into the election will be continued by the New Democratic Party.
The NDP chairman is also warning persons to refrain from voting in constituencies where they do not dwell, and made it clear that his party will be vigilant for fraudulent voters.
We have a strong chance of winning elections, and most people believe that we will win. So we don't want to encourage persons to break the law and vote. Why? Because everyone who attends the polling station to vote, their names will be ticked off on the list. And if you're not eligible to vote, notwithstanding that your name is on the list, that doesn't mean you're eligible, because it could have gone on there by fraud. And there's a provision in our law which clearly says that if you are issued with a ballot, or if you request a ballot, and the presiding officer is notified that you're not entitled or eligible to vote in that polling station or that constituency, then that presiding officer can ask a police officer to arrest you. So you can be arrested on the day of elections.
Meanwhile, the NDP chairman is of the view that this country's Prime Minister and the leader of the Unity Labour Party, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, has not yet called the general elections out of fear that the ULP will be ousted from office. Dr. Lewis says the Prime Minister's statement that he wants the NDP and Eustace to sweat leading up to the general elections is simply Dr. Gonsalves' way of stalling to win over voters.
Now, usually when a Prime Minister feels confident that he has performed so well, that people are appreciative and are willing to give him another term, he will call elections relatively early. He wouldn't just go down to the wire. He would call it because people are satisfied. He is not calling it because he himself is not satisfied that he will succeed. As a matter of fact, his pronouncements over the past year or so will give the impression to anyone that he believes that he's going to lose when he makes statements like he's not leaving that money for NDP to spend, as if it is his personal funds, or the money's he'll use it up because when they get there, he'll not only have an opportunity to spend that money because he's the one who raised it. To my, that is saying to people clearly and in an unequivocal manner that the Prime Minister believes he's going to lose.
As the threat of Hurricane Danny looms in the Caribbean, the Forestry Department is advising Vincentians to ensure that all overhanging trees are adequately pruned. Speaking with SVG-TV News today, Senior Forestry Supervisor Cornelius Richards says it is important that persons become more proactive and act now to ensure that trees within their surroundings do not pose threats to their safety.
You think that the tree is manageable. If there are things that you can do to the tree, take a few of the limbs off, you can go right ahead, minding your own personal safety, you can do that. But if you think that the job is a little bit too big for you, you can call on us or the Agriculture Extension Officer for advice, and we will do an assessment, and if it means assisting you, whether with a cost or otherwise, we can assist you in addressing the tree. Do not wait, and we always do this thing. We wait until the storm is on, and then they swamp the forestry department with calls asking to have services done. We're saying to you, do it all throughout the year. The best time to prune your trees is in the dry season. That's when the trees get time to heal, there's not a lot of moisture, and they recover nicely by the rainy season, when it's usually the hurricane time.
Richards also says livestock must be protected, as debris can become missiles and flooding can cause serious injuries.
In the open during a hurricane. Of course, you have flying branches, especially in the forest, close to the forest. Flying branches are the debris that can cause serious injury or death to your animals. There's also the situation where during hurricanes, you tend to have a lot, the rainfall tends to increase, so you have a lot more rain coming, and you have places that traditionally would not have running water. They call ephemeral rivers. There are three types of rivers: there's permanent, seasonal, and ephemeral. Ephemeral are the ones that flow just after a hurricane and stops immediately after. You don't want to have your animals like in those areas because they're going to get washed away. So I'm urging you to secure your animals carefully and to make sure that they're in a safe environment.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines is among a number of regional countries benefiting from a newly launched disaster risk reduction project. The project, which was launched at the NIS conference room, will see the regional countries receiving capacity building training and funding to ensure that they are better prepared and equipped to deal with disasters and their threats to the region. Speaking at the launch, Director General of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Red Cross, Bernard Maxman, says SVG is a good example of a disaster-prone country and says it is necessary that the countries of the region work together to ensure all are equipped to deal with the natural hazards.
The loss of lives and property as a result of natural hazards create untold physical and psychological damage to those affected families. Even though their lives would have returned to some degree of normalcy, things will never be the same. The country's collateral damage within the various sectors of government umbrellas out into uncharted waters in the attempt at pooling resources to rehabilitate the resultant tattered infrastructure. The Vincentian experience of the ravages of these natural hazards is no different throughout the Caribbean. One ought not to underestimate the value of a peaceful, undisturbed, and well-prepared Caribbean.
Maxman says the SVG Red Cross is proud to be a part of the initiative and urged the benefiting countries to take full advantage of the support given by the international organizations.
It is in this context that many a humanitarian organization, despite their own economic difficulties, have procured resources to create the enabling environment in which our small but important countries can commence the process in making our communities more resilient. It is this community resilience concept to which everyone now clings that has brought us here this morning. It is this community resilience concept, whether it is one of the mind or physical structure, that has transformed itself into projects of varying magnitude and methodologies, that has provided us with the opportunity to have conversations as to the way forward in achieving some measured goal.
Children of Peters Hope and surrounding areas have again been granted the opportunity to learn more about the Garifuna culture, thanks to the United States-based organization that has been imparting the knowledge to locals year after year. The program's music and dance coordinator, Georgette Lambie, says this is the organization's 5th year hosting the program, and over the past 2 weeks, they have been sharing various aspects of the indigenous Garifuna culture. Lambie says she's very pleased by the passion and eagerness displayed by the participants whose ages range from 5 to 24 years.
We are doing exceptionally great. I have to say I was very, very impressed. Me being a Garifuna and have been doing what I'm doing for many years, I came from LA, and I also have a cultural group in LA. But the kids here, they naturally have it. They've learned so many songs in less than 2 weeks, so they're doing really, really great with it. Our culture have different dances, so I taught them Wanaragwa song, I taught them Punta song, I taught them Hogo Hogo song, I taught them Sambai song, I taught them Gunjay song. They've already known the Chumba song. So for the past days that I've been here, these kids have learned well over 9 songs.
Some of the children also shared what they have learned thus far.
Songs, dance, have a lot of activities. Wala Nitiano Malano Kuchuro and Bankwata.
Cheers. Songs, dances, how to count in Garifuna.
I've learned songs and how to speak in Garifuna and how to say numbers 1 to 10 in Garifuna and so on.
Bakwata, William. It has been a good experience, no doubt. I've learned how to count in Garifuna, the songs, and how to say my name.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines' 2008 National Scholar Jason Haynes is now the proud recipient of a doctorate degree from the University of Durham. Haynes, a former student of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College, is now a Doctor of Philosophy and Law, which he received on a Commonwealth International Scholarship. He was also awarded a postgraduate certificate in academic practice from the Faculty of Education at Durham University. Haynes in 2011 obtained his LLB honors degree with first-class honors from the University of the West Indies, Cave Hill. During his stint at the Barbados campus, Haynes received numerous awards, including the Sir Gaston Johnson Award in Criminal Law and the Sir Fred Phillips Award in Law and Legal Systems. After completion of his UWI degree, Haynes went on to the University of Nottingham to read for the LLM, which included International and Comparative Law, International Investment Law, Corporate and Insolvency Law, Banking Law, and Financial and Monetary Law, to name a few. Having been successful in his LLM, Jason Haynes completed his master's in 2012 with distinctions in each area undertaken. Haynes now heads off to the Norman Manley Law School in Jamaica to pursue the legal education certificate. During his tenure in Jamaica, he will also serve as a lecturer at the Faculty of Law of the University of the West Indies. This country's Minister of Technology, Camila Gonzalez, is expressing concern that partisan rancor may put SVG's $80 million geothermal implementation process at risk. Minister Gonzalez says members of Parliament must be cautious as to how they refer to the project and not use it as a political football. Gonzalez says with the geothermal project, all here stand to gain from reduced dependence on foreign oil and emphasize that the project should not be based on partisan politics.
I don't have an issue if somebody wants to discuss or debate the means in which we implement something, because reasonable minds can disagree. But I caution very strongly and respectfully against trying to make something that is an accepted good become yet another political football, and that's where we are teetering at this point with geothermal energy. So I begin, Mr. Speaker, with a quote that I think we can all agree on, that I know we can all agree on. Geothermal energy has the potential to completely change our dependency on oil. It can yield energy at a substantially reduced cost, and we are keenly aware of the other advantages that it can bring to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I know we can all agree on that quote, Mr. Speaker, because those are the words of the Honorable Senator Cummings, well, then Senator Cummings, I believe, in 2007.
The Technology Minister says the move towards geothermal energy demonstrates SVG's commitment towards developing resilience against climate change.
And the issue of our environment has to factor into this, because we are under threat as islands by climate change, and we have to demonstrate a commitment to mitigating and alleviating climate change. Not because we are the ones creating all of the damage, but because we as the most affected have to demonstrate that commitment. Currently, 20% of our energy is from renewable resources, and 80% is from diesel. On the completion of this, that equation will be flipped. It will be 20% from diesel and 80% from renewable resources, both hydro and geothermal with a little bit of solar. And that is a wonderful thing.
Vincentians are being encouraged to do their part in the preservation of the country's beaches. Chair of the OECS Global Climate Change Alliance, Anthony Bowman, says it is important to remind Vincentians of the numerous benefits, both directly and indirectly, that can be had from beaches here. As a result, he says, everyone must work together to achieve the common goal of coastal preservation.
I want us to look at our beaches as one of our valuable resources, and I think more than not, all of us have some affinity to the beach or the resources which comes from the beach. I don't know, Mr. Belma, I think, would be looking at the sandy beaches in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but I know there are different types of beaches. If I remember doing geography how many years ago, sandy beaches, rocky beaches, stony beaches, cliffs, you know, so they are all parts of it. But I believe for the intents and purposes of what we are doing, we'll be focusing on the sandy beaches in St. Vincent, or in a location in St. Vincent.
Bowman also challenged Vincentians to pay close attention to the changes in the environment and to adopt and implement the necessary measures to address these issues.
Each time you go to the beach or you have an opportunity to be near one, try to see what is different, what has changed, or for the time that you may be there at the beach, what is changing, what is happening. Look at the dynamics that goes on, because the coastal zone is one of the most dynamic of our resources. Why? Because it's at the point of terrestrial and marine interface.
Principal of the Thomas Saunders Secondary School, the TSSS, John Renton, says good CSEC results do not come from luck, but from thorough planning of lessons, hard work, and a close collaboration between parents, teachers, and students. The Thomas Saunders Secondary School, which is this year celebrating its 10th anniversary, was listed among 5 schools with pass rates 80% and above in the 2015 CSEC examinations. Renton told SVG-TV News that he believes strongly in the school's motto, which reads, "Strive for Excellence," and explains that his school recognizes that hard work and dedication are vital in the pursuit of academic excellence. Renton says for 2015, the school had staff and students who were very committed toward guaranteeing excellent performances in the CSEC examinations.
I'm delighted. We achieved an 87.65% pass rate, which is a 2.37 improvement on last year. And this is the 6th year in succession that our results have improved, so I'm happy. Well, this improvement has been the result of refined pedagogy by the teachers. They've gone the extra mile, they've prepared their lessons, they've thought about how the curriculum has to be delivered, and as you can see, it's borne results. In addition, the students themselves worked hard to achieve the results. So hats off to both the teachers and the students.
Renton says the goal set by the staff and students of the institution is to enter the 90 to 100% pass rate in the 2016 CSEC examinations. He adds that the TSSS strives to not only teach academics, but also ensures the holistic development of each child.
Well, it's an absolutely beautiful birthday present for the school. So the best result yet, and we're looking forward to next year. We're up to 87.65, so I'm hoping that we're going to break the 90 barrier next time. As usual, a high demand for places at Thomas Saunders. When they get up to Form 4, we'll be offering 23, 24 subject areas at CSEC. We'll be offering good school culture for them to develop themselves in. And we will be offering them opportunities in various extracurricular activities, and of course Thomas Saunders is well known for track and field. So I know that we have some students coming to this school that are looking forward to trying their hand at that.
The Thomas Saunders Secondary Principal says the performance of the school at the CSEC level has always been above 65% and thanked the public, the government and other stakeholders for supporting the school over the years.
Well, our school motto is a very good one, striving for excellence. So I would encourage all students to do that, strive for excellence, and be the best version of themselves that they can. Strive for that. We had 99 candidates forward this year, and we had 737 subject entries. Well, I would like to congratulate some of my top achieving students, especially Jeremiah Augustus, who achieved 9 grade 1 passes, and that's our best yet. In addition, Caville Hazelwood, who achieved 7 grade 1 passes, and Abisha France and Kawana Charles, who achieved 6 grade 1 passes. And congratulations to them.
A packed program of activities will be held here this weekend to commemorate the 60th anniversary of the Church of God Fair Hall. Secretary of the Church, Maureen Gittins Kennedy, says the church was started by Caribbean nationals and is now outfitted with leaders who have successfully guided its members in the Word of God, despite the struggles that confront Christians in SVG. Gittins Kennedy says the 60th anniversary marks a significant milestone and encourages the other churches of God to come celebrate with them.
And we are celebrating our 60th anniversary. We have visiting ministers from over the Caribbean. We have persons coming from St. Kitts, from Trinidad and Tobago, and from Barbados. We have representatives from British Virgin Islands. And we start on Sunday, the 23rd of August, with a service in the morning at 10 o'clock. Our main service would be at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which would be the main anniversary celebration. And from Monday to Friday we have revival services at the church starting at 7 o'clock nightly. On Saturday we have an awards dinner, where we'll be giving awards to people of outstanding service and so on, and a closing service on the 30th, Sunday the 30th of August.
And Public Relations Officer of the Church, Coldrick Byron, says the church has been very instrumental in providing youths with proper guidance, and adds that persons attending the church's activities can expect to find a message that will inspire and strengthen them.
Having been a part of this congregation at Church of God Fair Hall, this has impacted my life very much, and being a young person in the church, I've also helped to mold others' lives so at least others can see Christ. Because having been a Christian, you have to be able to have that relationship as well with Christ and with the church and with others in your community. So that is forthcoming, and it is bearing fruit in our community, and people are seeing that God is who He says He is. So at this time, we'd just like to take the opportunity to welcome one and all to our 60th anniversary service, which will be held on the 23rd of August, this Sunday coming, and looking forward for a grand time in the presence of the Lord, where our theme says, "Arise and shine, for the light has come." And we truly want to see the glory of the Lord will be coming down on St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Vincentians, particularly persons here from the Christian community, are being invited to attend a musical fundraising concert where everyone will be performers. The event is scheduled for this Saturday, August 22nd at the Peace Memorial Hall. The initiative is being coordinated by Alpha Sound Studio Music All SVG Asthma under the theme "Hello, Pass the Mic," and is aimed at raising funds to assist the studio in purchasing new equipment and to continue its sponsorship of students whose goal is to become musicians. Asthma was established in the hope of aiding gospel artists and musicians to uplift and improve the quality of gospel music in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And Director of Alpha Sound Studio Music All SVG, Curtis Williams, urged persons to support the concert, explaining that the work of the studio is very important in aiding young musicians here and the gospel genre.
Now, this fundraising is not one of those dire type fundraising. It's actually gospel promotion fundraising for Alpha Sound Studio, so that we can continue to sponsor those students who are becoming musicians from time to time. We have, most of the time, we have students that we are giving music lessons. We have students from Gospel Fest that we're giving music lessons, and we also are still fitting the studio for gospel recording and stuff. So this is one, just a little concert towards, you know, getting a few bucks, maybe, as you know, the cover cost. Actually, there's a cover cost as well, just $10, and that's the children's price. But we're telling everybody to come for the children's price. So the children's price is $10 to come in.
William says the concert is designed for the whole family. He explains that someone will randomly be picked from the audience and asked to perform on stage or pay $2. He urges Vincentians to have an open mind and be prepared to entertain and be entertained.
It may be a penny concert, but for the 21st century, this year, 2015, what we'll be having is a $2 concert. $2. So that is, we would ask anyone in the audience to come to the stage and to perform or render an item. That can be a song, a poem, a little testimony, a little story, Bible story maybe, a joke, a little dance, a little act out, a little scenario. That is a very fun one. So please go to Hello, Pass the Mic on Facebook and find out everything that you need to know so that you can be well prepared for Saturday evening. We begin at 8 o'clock, we end after 10. And there are going to be beautiful eats and drinks for everyone. So come on out, come with your empty belly, come with $1.
Police here are investigating a fatal motor vehicle accident involving Larry May, 52 years, laborer of Camden Park, which occurred at about 12:24 p.m. on Tuesday, August 18th at Rattermill. Reports are that May was riding at the back of motor vehicle T1475 when he allegedly fell off. He sustained injuries about his head and right shoulder. He subsequently died at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. Lesroy Johnson, a 21-year-old resident of Beckway, has been busted by police for drug possession. He was reportedly intercepted by the lawmen while approaching gate number 5 at the Grenadines Wharf. Johnson, who was seen carrying the blue bag and other items in his hands, caught the attention of the police when he began acting suspiciously. A search was immediately conducted, which led to the disclosure of 280 grams of marijuana that was packed in a cornflakes box. Johnson was escorted to the Kingston Magistrate Court earlier today, August 20th, and pleaded guilty to the charge. Senior Magistrate Carla James imposed a fine of $300 to be paid in 1 week. Failing, a 1-month jail term will be imposed.